Hey guys, Michelle from Michelle's Craft Corner here, and in today's video we're going to be making this cute little piggy fly using the This Little Piggy stamp set. Let's get started. So here's a close-up of that fun card we're going to be making today. It's a pretty simple slider card. We've got the little flying pig here on the track. It goes up and down pretty easily. Leave it up, you can kind of slide down. So very, very fun. This, of course, is using the This Little Piggy stamp set, available in wood and clear, and this video I'm using the clear. So lots of cute options with this particular set. Besides that, the main color we're going to be using today is the Night of Navy for both the ink and the background paper. So not high on this supply colors for this one. We're also going to be using some Whisper White. We're going to have 2 sheets of that in the 5 by 3 3/4. One for the front and one for the inside. You're also going to want a scrap to stamp and cut out your little piggy on, and also a scrap for the sentiment as well. Alright, so besides those, we're also going to be using a couple of framelits. So this is the Bunch of Banners framelit set, and so for our little sentiment here I used this particular one. Now if you don't have this, there's a whole bunch of other punch options, or you could even just stamp it directly on the card. You don't have to cut it out like that. The other thing we're going to be using is this awesome new framelit set. Now this is part of that Barnwood Builder bundle, and we're going to be using this awesome slider to do our track for our pig. Okay? And then the last couple things, of course, we're going to be doing some sponging, so we need a sponge. We're going to be using a tiny, tiny piece of the foam adhesive strip. And we're also going to be using a small piece of vellum. Now, if you don't have vellum, you could also do the window sheets for this technique, or just a small piece of really slick plastic. You don't need very much, so you can try a couple different things if you don't have this on hand. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we're going to start with one of our pieces of the Whisper White. Move that off the side. Our piggy here. Okay. And this is that 5 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to start by stamping our clouds. We've got some cute little clouds in this set, which are just absolutely perfect for this. Now, if you would prefer to cut out your track first, you could definitely do it that way if you prefer. So take our little cloud, and what I like to do is just kind of stamp a couple clouds, a little bit of everywhere, but focusing mainly on the sides, because I know that track is going to be going through the center. Don't necessarily want half of a cloud. I'll stamp that one on top, kind of hide that. Okay. So you can add more clouds or less, just up to you. That's probably pretty good. You get the idea. All right, stick that off to the side. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our sponge. Now this is just to kind of fill out that sky. We're going to sponge the background and avoid those clouds. So it's not going to be a perfect sponging job by any stretch of the imagination, but we're just making that sky fuller. Now, if you are not a fan of Night of Navy, or maybe have another favorite shade of blue, you can do this exact same card in any of our other Stampin' Up! Colors. They would be just as pretty. This was just a handy one that I particularly like. Okay. So you see, I'm just kind of avoiding those clouds. It's not an exact even sponging. Kind of a little messy sponging, but you get the idea here. Sometimes if you pinch it, you can make it smaller for some of those tiny areas. Just like that. There we go. Almost done. There we go. You can also kind of sponge the edge if you want to kind of make it pop. Okay. There we go. So we've got our basic cloud background. Pretty quick and easy. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our Barnwood Builder framelits and this awesome track. Now for this track, I like to lay it to where it's at a slight angle, so when the pig is sliding to and fro, I mean, you'll have a little bit of him sticking out, but you know, it has good movement on the card. Okay, so for that, we're going to run it through the Big Shot using either your standard platform or your magnetic plate, and it's going to come out just like that. Okay. All right, and the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is stamp, color, and cut out a cute little pig. Now this one I colored with the Stampin' Up! Blends. If you don't have the blends, you can very easily color it with any of the Stampin' Up! Markers. For this one I just did the lighter tone of pink, and then the darker tone in the ears and on the nose and just around the edge. So very, very easy to color. And of course, if you wanted to do spots on him or make him brown or other colors, you totally could. All right, so now we've got our pig done. We've got our background done. Let's go ahead and stick it together. So we've got our card base ready to go. Fold that in half. Okay, so it's going to go right there with that nice edge of Night of Navy all the way around. All right, so now I'm going to grab my little piece of vellum, and keep in mind, if you don't have a little piece of vellum, you can use a bunch of other things, but you mainly want something that's very slick and will slide. There's also a couple other demonstrators that have done penny sliders or washers with this track, so you can look up some of those other videos as well for another way to use this slider if you want to go that route. But I kind of like this because it's a little lighter. I can't remember which demonstrator shared this, but I absolutely love this idea. So you want, when you cut yours, you want it to be wider than the track. I don't know if you guys can see that okay in the video. But you want your strip to be wider than the track so it's not accidentally going to fall through. All right. And then the other thing, stick that down here, is you're going to go ahead and grab a piece of these awesome foam adhesive strips. Now this sheet is almost completely done, but you don't need a very big piece, so we're just going to cut off a little wedge. And lining up our piece of vellum behind our track, and you want it to kind of be centered, if that makes sense. Like I said, you want a little bit of that edge. You could go wider if you want, which might have been a little easier for this video, but so I'm going to take that and flip it. And then I'm going to take my little foam adhesive strip and stick it right in that track. Now it happens to be the perfect size to fit right in that track and right on top of that vellum. So I don't know if you guys can see that okay. I know my clouds are upside down. There we go. So it's in that track. It's going to move up and down just like that. I don't want to pick it up yet because it'll just come straight out. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and take our pig and figure out where we want him to be sliding from. So if we want him kind of centered, more on the nose. Now I will recommend for this one, you want to have a little bit of him to grab to move. Now you could definitely add like a cloud or something else if you want a tab, or even add your saying on the end of him if you want something to grab. But you do want a little bit of an edge depending on which way you want to go to be able to move him up and down. So we're going to go ahead and peel that backing off. And then just stick our pig down. I'm going to stick him kind of right under the ear here. Just like that. Then we can test it. We hold it up and slide him straight up and down, just like that. There you go. Awesome, awesome. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and attach that to the card. Now, you don't want to attach it flat because that will disable the sliding. You want to definitely be using some more of those foam adhesive strips to kind of give it some pop up. Otherwise, it will just not slide properly. We don't want that. So we're going to cut some more of these off here and just hit the edges. But you guys can see just how simple this card is. Comes together really quickly. A lot of different variations that you guys could definitely do with this design. There. And these are probably bigger strips than I technically need, but I'm at the end of this sheet, so here we go. Stick that one there. Okay. All right, and we're going to take the thing, take our little backings off. Just like that. Okay. And flip it and align it to where we have that nice Night of Navy edge all the way around. And then just press him down. Just like that. Okay. And we can double check our slider, make sure he's still sliding good. Here we go. That. All right, now for our sentiment. Now for this one, this is actually coming from the bottom of the pig. So instead of inking up the whole thing, what I did is just inked up the very bottom words. So either just the edge of the ink pad or just getting your Stampin' marker and just marking up the words and stamping it. So you don't have to waste ink and stamp the whole thing. And of course, if you wanted to do it in black, you could have stamped the whole thing in black and then cut it out too for the outline. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stamp that on a scrap. Now this scrap is about 1/2 inch, or you can do bigger and trim it. And then after stamping that in the Night of Navy, I just ran it through the Big Shot with our fun little banner cutout, just like that. So as I said, very quick, very easy. It's a really good size for that. Now we're just going to add that sentiment to our card. Okay, and I kind of liked doing it at an angle on here. All right. And then on the inside, I don't know if you guys can see it on that one. So she believes she could. So she did, especially anything with the ... I feel like it needs something on the inside. And thankfully Stampin' Up! Made it so easy with this particular stamp set by providing the complimentary sentiment with that. So we're going to stamp that on the inside and adhere our inside and be done. So very, very quick and easy. So just light taps on this guy. Can't tell you how many times I keep getting the edge of this one. All right, and then just very gently down and straight up. That was not very good. Keep in mind you always have at least one do-over with every sheet, so we're just going to flip that and try again. There we go, not too bad. And then we're just going to attach that to the inside. Never fails. Whatever glue I grab is the one that's almost out for the video. Let's grab a different one here. There we go. Yet again, leaving that nice border all the way around. So there you have it, a cute little flying pig slider card that is sure to make any friend Smile. For all the direct product links to all the products used in this video, do check out the description of the video below. I have direct links to my Stampin' Up! Store. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye!